This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Sports postcasts that we do. We also do the Locked On Warriors postcast and the Locked On 49ers postcast. But today, the Giants fall in Philadelphia and ultimately split their series with the Phillies 6-4, your final score today from Citizens Bank Park. And Jordan Hicks was rocked for 5 runs in that first inning, but did settle in for 6 scoreless afterwards, despite his early struggles. Ultimately, the early hole was just too deep for the Giants to dig themselves out of. Tyler Fitzgerald and Matt Chapman both continued to heat up at the plate. Both players swatted home runs today. Those two guys being hot at the dish will benefit the Giants in future games. The Giants travel to Anaheim next to face the Los Angeles Angels. Make it make sense, please. I absolutely despise the Angels and their dumb naming of their team. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed, and make sure to check out the Locked On Giants daily show for more in-depth coverage. My guy, Ben Kaspick, always doing a great job. And again, in this one, the Giants, before Hicks even got on the mound, they struck first. They spotted their starting pitcher some runs on the road, which they've been doing a lot lately, and I really like what I'm seeing from this offense in these situations. And they did it again with 2 outs. Giants seem to score a lot with 2 outs lately. They had a Elliot Ramos double with 2 outs in that first, barely missed a home run by just a couple of feet. Matt Chapman then singled to drive him in, gave the Giants an early 1-0 lead, but man, oh man, did the Phillies strike back fast and swift and strong. Back-to-back singles and a walk to load the bases for the Phillies with nobody out in the bottom of the first. Then a Schwarber single and 2-run score. Phillies take a 2-1 lead. Harper gets the third on the play with nobody out still, and Nick Castellanos then singles. Another run scores. Phillies take a 3-1 lead. Still nobody out, runners at the corners. And Matt Chapman then makes a pretty solid play on a pop-up and foul ground, holds the runner at third, the first out of the inning. And I thought, okay, maybe Hicks can get out of this with just 3 runs, and that will be enough. Like, the Giants could come back from just being down 3-1. Like, that's nothing. That's light work for these guys. They've been doing much more damage than just 3 runs in a game. So I had confidence at that point that they would still be able to pull it out. But then came today's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And the turning point, I think, was that wild pitch with 2 outs that allows yet another run to score in that inning. And it kind of got Hicks off his game. Then with another 2-strike, 2-out count, the Giants keep getting burned on these 2-strike counts against the Phillies. Baum, who has been really bad this year so far, triples after a ball hits off Matos' glove. Matos then crashed really hard into that center field wall. It's a play he could have made, but I'm not going to say it's a play he should have made. It was very tough. I think if you have Jung-Hoo Lee out there, that's an out. And he had an off day today, so that proved to be a big difference in this one. Lee not in the lineup really hurt the Giants, but hey, guys got to get a rest eventually. Giants have 2 more weeks before they have an off day, so you got to find days and times to get guys some rest. And so today was Jung-Hoo Lee's day, and just kind of came back to bite the Giants there in that first inning. Phillies end that inning with a 5-1 lead, and that was just too much for them to come back from. Then in the 5th, before the 5th inning, Hicks kind of cruised along. He settled back in. He ended up throwing a lot of pitches in this one, north of 100, but credit Hicks for being able to stay out there and eat up some innings so the bullpen didn't have to come in like the 2nd or 3rd inning and turn this into a bullpen game. You still have a lot, as I said, like 2 more weeks before the Giants have an off day. So you got to manage that bullpen well during the stretch. And Hicks, even though he did not have a very good first inning, got knocked around, lots of hard hit balls, you got to at least give him a little bit, a fraction of some credit for being able to stick around out there and eat some innings and allow the bullpen some rest today. You only had 2 bullpen innings, or really 1 bullpen inning in this one. You had Eric Miller come in. He had a very long inning too. He did not finish it. And then Tyler Rogers came in for the last out of that 8th inning. But you only have 2 relievers come in instead of like 4 or 5 potentially if he had come out of this game early. So, taking some silver linings from this one for sure. In that 5th inning, Koss ended up making some errors, and I was kind of discouraged by that, man, because we've been told that this guy is on the team because Buster gave us the reasoning that he's a ball player and he's a great defensive specialist and so on and so forth. And that was his reasoning for keeping Koss over a guy like Brett Wisely, who might have a little bit more position flexibility and had some big at-bats last year, despite the average not reflecting that. Remember, Wisely had a walk-off last year, but Koss boots a routine ground ball, makes a bad throw to first on a double play opportunity that initially pulled Schmidt off the bag. They initially ruled the runner safe, but it was reviewed and overturned. So the Giants did get the double play to get out of the inning, but maybe it's just some early season jitters. I mean, this guy hasn't had a ton of playing experience. We're not going to kill him, but I was a little discouraged to see that from a guy who's supposed to be a defensive specialist. I don't know. Maybe that's the first little bit of tinkering that the Giants do is figuring out who to bring up for Christian Koss when eventually I think he'll end up having to go back down to the minor leagues. But we'll see. Buster obviously has shown a very, very different mindset as to how he's going to manage this roster than we got the last several years with Farhan and company. So, and I like it. I've stated that several times. I like the way that Buster instills confidence in his guys. So I think that we'd have to see a couple more games like this from Koss before he gets sent down. He'd have to be just abysmal at the plate and be booting balls, I think, for Buster to give up on him and send him back to Sacramento on I-80. But then in the top of the 6th, the Giants get a little bit of life back in their lineup. Ramos reached via air, and Chapman swats a 2-run bomb to left field, and that's got to feel good for Matt Chapman. He has not been the best hitter in the Giants lineup this year. It's his 3rd of the season. He's creeping up to 240 in that batting average. The OPS is now over 800. He's batting 239 on the season, but that was his second and third RBI of the day. Chappie with 2 hits in his 4 plate appearances. You got to give him some credit, man. And I think for that, we're going to give Matt Chapman our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And this is just like another day at the yard for Matt Chapman when he's right at the dish. And obviously he made that nice play at third in the first inning to snag that ball in foul ground. And if he hadn't made that play, that inning could have gone on even longer than it already did for Hicks. But Chapman, as I said, 2 hits, 3 of the Giants' 4 RBIs today. He was Matt Chapman. You see why he's in that 4 hole and why Buster has stuck with him, even though he's had a slow start to the season, but he's starting to come around. And I really do think that Chapman is going to be a big factor, obviously, for this team going down the stretch. It's not a hot take by any means here on the show, but people kind of question whether or not this guy can get to 30 home runs. It would be a stretch, but I do think it's possible for Matt Chapman to hit that mark. We will see him staying hot early in the season and kind of carrying that for a little while could definitely help, because last year he did not hit very well in the beginning of the season at all. So the Giants, they got those 2 runs there, but then in the 8th inning, Miller had some issues, walked the first 2 batters he faced after he came in for Jordan Hicks. We'll break down Hicks's day a little bit later on in the show, but then a wild pitch after he walks the first 2 batters, puts runners at second and third with nobody out. Sac fly to right field, scores Harper from third base, gives the Phillies an insurance run for a 6-3 lead for them at that point. Miller then got a couple outs before being pulled for Tyler Rogers, who got out of the inning, got the 1 out that he needed for the Giants to come back up and have a chance to win in the 9th inning. Save situation for the Phillies. And Schmidt leads off the inning, drills 108 miles an hour, but right at the left fielder. And man, this kid has got some power. He's got some pop in that bat. Ball's just got to start finding some spots, because he's been smoking that ball lately in the last couple games. I really hope that Schmidt is able to find a way to get some more at bats, because I think it's only a matter of time before these balls that he's absolutely crushing find some spaces to get down in that outfield and find some gaps in the defense. It's just a matter of time. You keep hitting the ball hard, good things will happen. Casey Schmidt absolutely hits the hell out of the baseball. So unfortunate little bit of luck on that one. I mean, 108 miles an hour off the bat, but directly at the left field. Like, I don't even think the left fielder moved for the Phillies on that play. But then up comes Fitz, solo home run to left field. And damn, wishing Casey was on base for that one, because if he was, the Giants would be within one run. And I think the pressure would have started to get to the Phillies a little bit. Maybe it changes the outcome of this one. But alas, it's a solo home run, 381 feet to left. And Fitz, it's his second of the year. He's been heating up too. We've been talking about Fitz the last couple of days. I told everybody last night that they needed to, everyone who was down on Tyler Fitzgerald early on needs to go out and get some apology cards and send them right to 24 Willie Mays Plaza and address them to Tyler Fitzgerald, because I heard a lot of you talking a lot of smack about this guy, and he's showing you what he can do. And it's the early season, I know, so things will change fast as the season goes on, but Fitz moved up to 6th in the lineup today, reflecting how hot he's been. And by the way, that batting average up to 309. So shout out Tyler Fitzgerald, that OPS 872. So he has been all of a sudden turned around his subpar start to the season, and now he's looking pretty damn good, man. So Tyler Fitzgerald, nice job at the dish today. You even got the tying run up to bat after Jung-Hoo Lee came in to pinch hit with 2 outs and smacked a little high chopper over the pitcher, infield single to get on base with those 2 outs, but Giants couldn't do anything with it. This one ends with a Christian Koss force out, and that's all she wrote for the Giants. So you split the series in Philly, not the worst situation that can happen. You still have a winning record on this road trip, which is very, very, very good. You leave New York and Philly with a winning record. I think if you asked any Giants fan before this road trip if that was the outcome, would you be happy? They would say yes. Obviously, you want to win these road series. It's the first road series of the year that the Giants haven't won outright, but they still haven't lost a road series. And if you can win most of your home series, and obviously Giants aren't losing road series, if you just split on the road all the time, you're going to be a pretty damn good baseball team by the end of the season. So Giants doing a good job keeping pace. Now you go to Los Angeles, or Anaheim rather, to play the Los Angeles Angels, which makes absolutely no sense and absolutely pisses me off. Hate that name, but and the Angels too. Still mad about 2002. I hate rally monkeys. I hate thundersticks. Get all that S out of my face. Never again will I. No. But before they do that, they're gonna have to figure out some things with the starting pitching, man, because last couple of days have not been very easy for the Giants starters, and their ERA is climbing, man, absolutely climbing. We'll talk about Jordan Hicks's day next here on the Locked On Giants postcast. Today's show is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices, no console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25. I love that game. To Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. And your Fire TV comes with endless entertainment. With 4K streaming, you can watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and more. I mean, I just absolutely love the idea of being able to get in some EA College Football 25 in. And I mean, if anyone wants to smoke, I can DM me. I'll share my gamer tag with you. We can get it going on the Amazon Fire TV through Xbox. That's such a cool aspect that this now has. It's available on select devices, including Fire Stick 4K, second gen Fire Stick 4K Max, the first and second gen, and Fire TV Cube, third gen. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller are required. Today's show is also brought to you by PrizePicks. Basketball and hockey playoffs are heating up, and there's no better way to turn your sports knowledge into real rewards than with PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. With PrizePicks, you simply pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and you're in. You can even combine different players across sports, basketball, hockey, baseball, and more for your chance to win up to 2,000 times your cash. And I cooled off on the PrizePicks selections for today, but we'll be back at it for this Giants-Angels series, and we'll be back at it for this Warriors-Rockets playoff series, every damn game of that series, which by the way, I think that's going at least 6 games. It's going to be a tough matchup for the Warriors. We will be giving you our PrizePicks lineups every day during that series and during the Giants-Angels series coming up. I'll scope some good lines out for you guys for tomorrow. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. And today's show is also sponsored by Gametime. There's nothing better than catching an MLB game live. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of ballpark food. And if you're looking to go last minute, Gametime makes getting tickets even easier than ever with last minute deals, all-in pricing, and a lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as Gametime gets closer, meaning you can score an incredible deal. And Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On. And as the Giants are eventually coming back home, and by the way, they got a Star Wars Day coming up with Obi Webb Kenobi, like a Logan Webb dressed up as Obi-Wan with a lightsaber. Dude, I'm all over that. I need that bobblehead. It's a need, not a want. So I'm going to be using Gametime to get my tickets to get out to the yard for my Obi Webb bobblehead. That is such a cool giveaway. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants got roughed up in that first inning. Jordan Hicks, man, shelled for 5 runs. Giants couldn't pull out of the hole, and they eventually fall 6-4 to the Phillies. And what I think you're going to be talking about is this Giants starting pitching staff kind of needing to get their you-know-what together.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And Hicks today, he settled in a little bit better than he was in that first inning as this game went on. But man, it took him a while. 105 pitches thrown today. 65 of them were sinkers. 34 of them were sweepers. He barely threw that splitter at all, only 3 of them. So you could tell he just wasn't feeling it with the splitter, which is a little bit concerning going forward because that pitch is so important to his success on the mound. And I think that it's got to come around for him to be a solid pitcher. He only threw 53 pitches in the zone and 52 of them outside of the zone. So you could tell he had problems locating today again. He had issues locating against the Yankees, but I thought that might have been attributable to the weather conditions. But after this start, you got to start talking about it. Maybe it's not just that wet, rainy day in New York. He also gave up a ton of hard contact today. Jordan Hicks, 91 miles per hour average exit velo. And that's not very good. He's been getting hit hard. And he's not the only one, man. We talked about the same issues Robbie Ray was having. And also walks. Walks were a big problem for Hicks today, too. Same thing with Ray in his start. Hicks walked 4 different batters today. Not very good. And by the way, before we get out of here, we got to mention the Giants struck out 14 times today, man. That's just not nearly enough runners on base. They only drew 1 walk after drawing they had 11 walks in one of their games earlier this series against the Phillies. So it's just been all over the place. The Giants plate discipline would like to see that kind of level out a little bit rather than be in one extreme or the other. But Hicks, man, he cannot be given 4 free passes and 6 hits. It's 10 runners on base over 7 innings of work. You're going to get got eventually if you're putting that many men on base. Free 90s always come back to bite you. And today they definitely came back to bite Jordan Hicks. So I think he's got to figure that out, man. I think he's got to figure it out. Going forward, I think he might, but the Giants, you got to figure some things out with not just Hicks, but Robbie Ray and Justin Verlander too. Landon Roop has been one of the more solid pitchers on this staff so far. And obviously Webby is doing Webby things. He's the last guy you got to be concerned about on this Giants team. Angels are hot, man. They're coming up next. Don't sleep on them. They're hot. No matter how much I hate those Angels, I got to respect their ability to kind of overperform so far this year. Cooled off a little bit recently since their red hot start, but they're still 9-8 on the season. Do not sleep on them. Make sure the Giants need to make sure they win that series. If they win 2 of those 3 games and come back to Oracle, having not lost a single series on this road trip, that would be a huge, huge, huge plus for this team. It's all the time that we got for you guys today. Sorry we didn't get into the chat too much today, but we'll make sure to get into the chat a little bit more during this Giants-Angels series coming up. Tune in tomorrow to the Locked On Giants postcast, and make sure you check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.